Carrigtwohill, and I want to thank the Officer of County Cork for selecting this topic this morning for the Minister for being here to respond. I'm concerned about the decision by the Minister to issue a direction to Cork County Council in the manner of Section 31 of the Planning and Development Act 2000 as amended, and has followed the recommendations of the Office of the Planning Regulator in relation to the Cork County Development Plan, which was recently adopted by the members. And the Minister received recommendations from the Office of the Planning Regulator to exercise his functions under the relevant provisions of Section 31 of the Act to delete certain paragraphs, and also to delete the amended and additional provisions for retail outlet centres under MA 1920, including objective TRC 1020 retail outlet centre and associated maps. What this actually means is that there's a stall put on the aspirations of the Planning Authority, Cork County Council, to allow for or to make provision for the development of a retail centre out in the Cork area near Carrigtwohill. Now, the Minister, I'm sure, is very familiar with the Kildare outlet centre, as I am, and it's extremely popular. A lot of people go there. They mightn't buy a whole lot, but they walk around. It's a nice day out, and sometimes you can't even get parking there. A lot of people from the south of the country, from the Minister's constituency and from our constituency, actually travel up there. And what we're interested in is having a similar centre, maybe not to such scale, in the Cork region, in the Carrigtwohill region. Now, I do understand that it's a draft direction that was issued, and it's open public consultation for 2 weeks, after which the Council has 4 weeks to prepare a response, and then the Office of Public Regulator will have another 3 weeks to advise the Minister, after which the Minister may give the final direction. This is in spite of a number of High Court rulings which quashed similar directions made by the Minister last year. So there's history here, and I understand, I don't want to get into this too much, but there may be further legal proceedings ongoing and initiated by the Council to clarify these matters. But my concern really is if the present direction is upheld, it will in effect at best stall for an indefinite period the development of an outlet centre in the East Cork area, and at worst it will mean that the opportunity to construct a €100 million centre could be lost forever. My interest is a potential for the creation of 850 jobs, for the further development of tourism and business in the area, and that will actually see a large rise in population in the next decade. That's, of course, if another ruling of the recommendation of the OPR isn't dealt with, which demands very high density of housing in the area, which could actually forestall any housing being built in the area. That's not a matter. Coupled with the rise of the return of the cruise liner trade to Cove, the potential for such a centre is enormous. All we have to do is, as I said, is look at the success of the outlet centre in Kildare, and the fact that it has increased more than once in size. Such is the demand from the public. Now, the people want this. Why are we in the south of the country to be denied such a similar facility? It will complement what is already on offer in the area at present, such as, and the Catholic is familiar with these as well, Fort Wildlife Park, Spike Island, Barryscourt Castle, which is to reopen shortly, the beautiful town of Cove with a magnificent cathedral, its heritage centre, the Tannic experience, as well as the Jemison Centre in Middleton, Cork City, would also benefit, I would contend. So I would ask the Minister to keep an open mind on the benefits of such a centre. The Office of the Planning Regulator may not always be right. We must also take into account the views and wishes of the elected members of Cork County Council who have adopted the plan. They have worked long and hard on the development plan. They know their own area very well. I understand that it is not possible for the Minister to withdraw the direction once it is signed, but I want to put on record the need to tread very carefully from here on out, or does the Minister have to obey the OPR without question? And I think at least we should let it go to planning and not stop it at this stage. Let it go into the planning process, and maybe it might end up in board planala, but so be it. But to actually kill the concept at this stage before it even gets a chance to get off the blocks, I think isn't right. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Gaurav Mahagut, and I know the deputies representing Cork are out in force today. This is the third one from Cork this morning, so kudos to you. I would like to thank Deputy Stanton for his question on the Cork County Development Plan, which I'm answering on behalf of the Minister of State for Planning and Local Government, Mr Peter Burke, and the Minister for Housing and Local Government and Planning, Minister Darragh O'Brien. The Cork County Development Plan 2022 to 2028 was made by the elected members of Cork County Council on the 25th of April 2022. In accordance with Section 31 AM 6 of the Planning and Development Act 2000, as amended, the Chief Executive of Cork County Council issued a notice to the Office of the Planning Regulator informing the Office of where the Planning Authority had decided not to comply with recommendations made in the relevant report of the Office. The Office considered this notice and issued a notice under Section 31AM8 of the Act to the responsible Minister on the 20th of May 2022, recommending that he exercise his function to take such steps to ensure that the plan sets out an overall strategy for the proper planning and sustainable development. Minister Darragh O'Brien subsequently issued the note of intention to direct to the Chief Executive of Cork County Council on the 3rd of June 2022. The process now entails the following steps. A 2-week public consultation began on the draft direction on the 17th of June, which is open for submissions up to and including July the 1st. No later than 4 weeks after the expiry of consultation period, the Chief Executive must prepare a report on submissions received, which is given to the elected members, the Office and the Minister. The Office must then consider the Chief Executive report and submissions and shall recommend to the Minister that the direction is issued with or without minor amendments. If there are no amendments or the amendments are only minor, the Minister may issue the direction to Cork County Council. The direction under Section 31 has immediate effect. A copy of the direction will be laid before each house of the Oireachtas and made available on the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage's website. Where the Office is of the opinion that a material amendment to the draft direction is required, or further investigation is necessary, or it is necessary for another reason, then the Office may appoint an inspector no later than 3 weeks after receipt of the Chief Executive's report. The inspector has 3 weeks from when appointed to give a report to the Office. The Office makes the Inspector's report available to the Chief Executive and Regional Assembly and any persons who have made a submission on the draft direction. Submissions are allowed within a 10-day time period after receipt of the Inspector's report. The Office has 3 weeks or can extend that period after receipt of the Inspector's report on any submissions made, as the case may be, to recommend to the Minister for Local Government and Planning to issue the direction, not to issue the direction, or to issue a direction which has been amended by the Office to take account of recommendations in the Inspector's report and any submissions made. The Minister can then decide to either issue or not issue that direction. And the Minister has stated he can make no further comment at this time due to the fact that this is a live statutory process. But I do understand, Deputy, where you're coming from. As you stated quite clearly, you're coming from it from the potential of maybe 850 jobs, employment, construction. I understand the reason why you're raising it. Furthermore, concerning the matter of a retail outlet centre in Cork, it is the subject of ongoing legal proceedings, and consequently the Minister cannot make any further comment at this time.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy Stanton.
Yeah, thanks very much. I want to thank the Minister for her response, and I do acknowledge the fact that there are legal issues involved here, that it's ongoing. There's a statutory process which I respect and agree with, but I think we really need, and the reason I brought it up this morning, because as the Minister has acknowledged here, this is in her speech, this is a big issue for the area, and it's a big issue for the country as well. And we've got to see where the balance lies here. We have the elected members of Cork County Council, who are democratically elected, and the vast majority of them, having spent a long time discussing this and debating this, have actually recommended that the zoning go ahead to allow this to happen. So that's in my view, a democracy in action at the lowest level, if you like, and we should respect that as well. I know there's a process involved here, but I also want to say that from an environmental point of view, it will actually keep people in the south of Ireland. And it's envisaged that you could have 220,000 visitors to the centre annually. And it will actually generate more economic activity in the south of Ireland as well, and will benefit the city and the surrounding towns too. As I say, you have 100 cruise liners coming into Cove now every year from now on, and that's going to grow. And those people will make a beeline to this centre. I mentioned earlier on 850 jobs, which are also important. And the whole region is going to expand. The people want this in the area. That's the feedback I'm getting from my constituents. And on top of that, as I say, it will be good for the whole region because it's going to grow enormously. There are plans for thousands of houses in the Middleton area, in the Waterrock area. Irish Water, thankfully, have now decided to put in a pipeline which will enable this to happen. Mind you, Minister Eamon Ryan has decided to block the upgrade of a road for the time being, hopefully, but that has is in danger of stymieing growth. And I've had that discussion with him on and off, but we hope that that roadblock will, pardon the pun, will be removed shortly, and that we will see the badly needed housing development to go ahead there. The rail link is to be electrified, and we're going to see rail services every 15 minutes, which is really fantastic to see. So a lot of potential, a lot of positivity, but this has to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Stanton. Minister.
Thank you. No, Cathaoirleach, like you're very interested in this discussion as well here today. So I think the important piece to note is a 2-week public consultation began on the draft direction on the 17th of June, which is open for submissions up to and including July the 1st, so it's ongoing at the moment. And I have listened carefully to the views expressed today, and I thank the Deputy for your valuable contribution, and I will bring it to the attention of the Minister for Local Government and Planning. I trust the process I have detailed earlier today is helpful to the Deputy and all members present in understanding the arrangements, including the consultation processes that are in place for the public, local authorities and state agencies to progress with the adoption of county and city development plans in accordance with national strategies and legislation. And I would also like to reiterate, as I mentioned in my opening comments, on the limitations as to what can and cannot be commented on at the moment. It is important that such processes are respected and followed by all participants in this process, as I know you will, Deputy, but I do take on board you know, as you have outlined it from an economic point of view, and the spin-off that would be available if such a development were to progress. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Minister.